Hello, darlings. It's nice to see you all again, and thanks for joining me for today's video. You know what? Having a van is really cool because you can go wherever you want to go, whenever you want to go. The freedom is awesome. I love the freedom that van life offers. I mean, when I get that horrible feeling, I can just hop in my van and just go wherever and escape to wherever, whenever. Until late last week. When I started to have trouble with the van. And that's when I thought, oh no, now what am I going to do when that awful feeling comes? And it always comes sooner or later, guaranteed. And the best way I can describe that horrible feeling is that it feels like a combination of mixed horrible emotions, meaning a combination of every awful negative emotions put together into one big emotion, if that makes sense. Like meaning it feels like a combination of fear, anger, betrayal, humiliation, embarrassment, hurt, oh, you name it. Every negative emotion that you can think of, and just mix them all together into one enormous emotion that's really overwhelming and intense and strong. And that's the best way I can describe this horrible emotion that I feel at times. And that's because I'm a recovering domestic violence victim survivor, as you know. Or maybe you don't know because you're new to my channel. And you see, I'm a recovering domestic violence victim survivor who has anxiety, depression, and PTSD, which is post-traumatic stress disorder, as well as nightmares every single night, which is typical. I mean, if I dream 5 dreams per night, I'll have 5 nightmares per night. If I dream 3 nightmares per night, I'll have 3 nightmares per night, and so on. And I know that's because of the post-traumatic stress disorder, which is a result from the trauma from my abusive marriage. So, late last week when I started to have mechanical issues with my van, I'm thinking, oh no, now what am I going to do? I can't go anywhere until I get my van fixed. Well, actually, I can go somewhere if I want to. I can still drive the van, but I would rather use common sense because I don't want to, go somewhere and then, have my van, all the lights come up on my dashboard and my van stalls again and then I'm stuck stranded somewhere. I don't want that. So It's best for me to use common sense and leave the van at home until I get the van fixed next week. And I've got the van booked in for Wednesday, and that's a week from today. And so after I started to have mechanical issues, I was okay at home in my apartment. I had the nightmares, of course. And last night, I got up, I don't know what time it was. I didn't look at the clock. Probably about 2 or 3 in the morning, I suppose. So I got up to go to the toilet. I'm like this, sitting in the toilet, rubbing my forehead, trying to do breathing exercises to calm myself down. Because of this particular nightmare, where I dreamt about watching my abusive ex-husband bash my 3-month-old son, just like it happened, as if it happened yesterday. And it was so vivid, like it was just yesterday. And even though my son is now 30 years old, I still dream about all these years later. And all my nightmares are always just as vivid as if it was yesterday. And I have that horrible feeling that I feel, that I was just describing to you. And I call this feeling the spider feeling. And how I came up with the name for that feeling is because one day, not long after I left my violent ex-husband, I was doing the washing at my parents' house, and as I was taking out the clothes from the washing machine and putting them into the basket, oh my God, I couldn't believe it. There's this big, black, fat, hairy spider in the washing machine, and it looked like it was looking at me. Oh my God, and I hate spiders, I really do. Oh my God. I can feel the hair on my back sitting up right now as I can remember it, just like it was yesterday. So I was running around the house screaming like a headless chook until I got into the middle of the hallway, where I suddenly stopped. And I thought, wait a minute. That's the same feeling how he made me feel for 22 years. That's when I realized that he made me feel fear. And that's when I thought, now I know what I'm going to call this horrible feeling. I'm going to call this feeling the spider feeling. The feeling of fear. The feeling of domestic violence. And it's also the title of my book that I'm currently working on. The spider feeling is the same feeling that you feel when you're about to be eaten by a lion. The spider feeling is also the same feeling that you feel in war. For example, all of the victims who have experienced war, like in World War I, World War II, all the people who were in the Nazi concentration camps, this is the same feeling how they felt. It's also the same feeling that you feel when you experience some kind of trauma, whether it be from a car accident or a natural disaster or whatever. And the intensity of this feeling is like 10 out of 10. It's always so strong and overwhelming, that complete fear paralyzes you. It's such a horrible, horrible feeling. It really is. It's the worst feeling at all. I mean, when I was married, every time my ex-husband abused me, that feeling, the spider feeling, would become stronger and more overwhelming each time. Like when the time he threw the wool unit on top of me. The spider feeling became stronger. When he stabbed me in my left breast with a 16-inch kitchen knife cutting me. He made the spider feeling become more overwhelming. When he bashed me, breaking my ribs, the spider feeling became much stronger. And the spider feeling just kept growing and becoming more overwhelming and more stronger as time went on, and as the more abuse that I suffered, and as the longer that I suffered from the abuse, the worse it became, until in the end where I just couldn't tolerate the spider feeling anymore. I just couldn't tolerate his behavior anymore. I mean, I wanted to live. I didn't want to die. I knew I was going to die if I didn't get out, so I had to leave, so I did. I mean, he forced me to leave for safety reasons. And the spider feeling, it makes you feel, it's so horrible. It really is. You can feel your heartbeat racing a mile per hour. You can feel your blood pressure rise. And I couldn't tolerate the spider feeling in the end because I ended up becoming disoriented and emotionally disabled. Oh my God, it was so horrible. And even though I have my apartment now thanks to the Family Violence Services, I still feel that the spider feeling. It will always creep up on me sooner or later. And when I started to have troubles with my van like last week, that's when I'm thinking, oh no, now what am I going to do when the spider feeling comes, because I can't go anywhere in my van. You know, because every time I experience the spider feeling, I can always hop in my van and escape to wherever. But this time I can't until I get the van fixed. So I'm thinking, okay, so now what am I going to do? And I was okay at home for the first week after I started to have troubles with the van. I mean, I had the nightmares every night, of course, but I was okay during the daytime. And then I had that dream last night where I'm watching my ex-husband bash the crap out of my 3-month-old son, my little baby. I mean, I feel like I'm starting to shake again. And I don't know if that nightmare last night triggered the spider feeling today, but it could have. I'm not sure if that's the case or not. But anyway, I was in the kitchen doing the dishes today when all of a sudden the spider feeling crept up on me again. I mean, I knew it was going to come sooner or later. Guaranteed, because it always does. The only thing is, I just don't know when. And all of a sudden, I can feel my heartbeat starting to race. I can feel my heart, oh my God. Calm down, Karen, calm down. I could feel my blood pressure starting to rise, and the emotions of that spider feeling, the intensity. I felt like as if someone was watching me, as if there was a presence I could feel like a presence in my apartment, like there was someone standing behind me, waiting to grab me and attack me from behind. Just like with what my ex-husband used to do, because he used to always have a habit of coming up on me, sneaking up on me behind and going whack. Whack like this on the couch behind me. And the more I told him to stop doing that, the more he did it. I could say that he enjoyed doing it. He enjoyed being in that state of mind. So I'm standing at the kitchen sink doing the dishes, and I'm thinking, oh no, now here comes the spider feeling, and I can't hop in the van and go wherever. I can't go stealth camp or free camping, wherever. So I'm thinking, okay, so now what am I going to do? Because there's no way I can stay for long in my apartment when I'm feeling like that, because I have to come into my van, because my van is my happy place where I feel safe. Because every time I'm in my van, I don't experience a spider feeling, but I still do have the nightmares at night time though. And so, and I think the reason why I feel relaxed and safe in my van is because my van is my happy place where I feel safe, like I said. The best way I can describe it is like I've mentioned in my other videos, is like, remember when we were kids and something bad happened, or we got into trouble, or whatever, and we were feeling scared or whatever, and we'd go hop in our little cubby house. And as soon as we were inside of our cubby house, all of a sudden we felt safe and happy again. Well, that's how I feel in my van. So therefore, to me, my van is like being in my cubby house. And also, the domestic violence happened in an apartment. It didn't happen in a van. You see what I mean? Even though I have my own apartment where I'm safe, it doesn't matter, because it's still the same kind of environment. Whereas the van isn't. You see what I mean? So I'm standing at the sink thinking, okay, so now what am I going to do? I had to stop doing the dishes. I couldn't finish doing the dishes. I had to walk away and turn away, because that feeling, the spider feeling, was so overwhelming and so strong. I felt like as if someone was going to attack me. I felt like as if there was someone standing right behind me who was just about to attack me. So I had to leave the dishes, and I just have to wait until that feeling goes before I can go and finish doing the dishes again. And this is how this awful feeling, the spider feeling, affects me. It affects my normal, just my normal daily life in general. It's not nice being a domestic violence victim survivor. But at the end of the day, I'm just grateful to be alive, because Domestic violence is the leading cause of death in today's society. I was watching a video on YouTube yesterday about this young lady, mother, and her toddler. They were both murdered by their partner because of domestic violence. I think this was over in India. And I watched their funeral. You know, where they have those open air cremations. I couldn't believe it. I could not stop crying. I just felt so bad for her and her baby and their family, because I know how she felt. I've been there because my ex-husband, he nearly killed me on a few different occasions. I know what it's like. I mean, when you're confronted with death so many times, it becomes normal in the end. And in the end, you just don't fear death. You don't fear dying, because it becomes normal, because you have experienced it so many times. And that's what happened to me. And that has happened to so many other people, but a lot of people, a lot of women and children too, do not survive domestic violence. I mean, I know I'm lucky to have a second chance, and I'm so grateful to have a second chance at living life. But I still have to put up with the nightmares every night. I still have to put up with the spidey feeling creeping up on me all the friggin' time. Which can become paralyzing. And it never ever stops. It never goes away. And there's no cure for or medication, you know, for PTSD sufferers and people who have nightmares. Sometimes I think I wish I had have died from domestic violence, because I wouldn't have to be suffering like this all the time like I am now. And then other times I feel like I'm just so grateful to be alive. I always have those mixed emotions. And now my van's breaking down. I can't escape to wherever. And I'm thinking, okay, so what am I going to do? And that's when I thought, I know what I'm going to do. Just because the van's broken down, well, it hasn't technically broken down, I can still drive it, but I'm not going to, because I don't want to get stranded somewhere. So I thought, just because I'm having problems mechanical-wise with the van, and I can't go anywhere until I get it fixed, doesn't mean to say that I still can't hop in the van, because I can. So now I've decided I know how to solve the problem. Callie and I are going to go boondocking in the backyard. Woohoo! That's right. We're going to be boondocking in the van, in the backyard, until I get the van fixed. There's only one problem though, which I've got to figure out, and I hope to figure it out, because the air conditioner in my van doesn't work. But when I get the van fixed, I'm going to get the air conditioner fixed too. But we're in summer now here in Australia, and it's getting really hot. That means it's getting really, really hot in the van. And there's no way I can let Callie stay in a hot van. I mean, even though I've got the fans and I've got a few USB mini air conditioners which do help, however, when it's really, really hot, they don't help much. So, if Kelly and I are going to be boondocking in the van in the backyard, I'm going to need to figure out a way to keep the van cool. So I haven't figured that out yet, but I hope I will. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to be camping in the backyard in the van until I get the van fixed. So that's what we're going to do. So that's the moral of the story. That's what this video is about how we're going to, because us van lifers are problem solvers. And so to solve this obstacle of when I get the spider feeling in my apartment, and my van's not, I can't go anywhere in the van, I can still boondock in the van in the backyard. So that's what we're going to do, and I'll need to figure out a way to find out to keep the van cool, but I'll figure that out. I've got a couple of ideas, but I haven't tried them yet, so I just hope they work. And I'm quite sure that there are many people out there who have experienced feeling the spider feeling. And so, therefore, I know that you would understand how I'm feeling, and I know how you're feeling. And if you're one of those people who do experience feeling the spider feeling for whatever reason, whether you had trauma from a car accident, or whether you're a vegetarian or whatever, it's important to find out ways that work for you. And the thing is, because everyone is different, that means different things will work for different people. And what may work for someone may not work for someone else, and vice versa. And this is where you're going to need to just try anything and everything. And to see what works for you. And then when you find out what works for you, then you do that, whether it be counselling or talking to a psychologist or someone, or breathing exercises, or meditation, or whatever, Maybe you might need a combination of a few different things. I noticed CBT, cognitive behavioural therapy, helps me, and that's what I do. And the other thing that I do is I hop in my van and I go wherever. That's why I want to move full-time into my van. But I still need to make the van more comfortable before I can do that. Especially now that we're in summer and it's really, really hot here in Australia. But at least I've got the van booked in for next week to be fixed, and I'm getting the air conditioner in my van fixed next week as well. So at least that's a start. And you've got to start somewhere, don't you? So that's what this video is about today, is about what am I going to do? What am I doing? So that's what I've decided to do, is boondock, in the van, in the backyard until we get the van fixed. Woohoo! I'm so looking forward to it. Okay, so how long? Half an hour. Okay. This video has been going for 30 minutes exactly, so I think that's long enough. I don't want this video to be going for too long. So thanks for joining me for today's video. I really appreciate you joining me. And please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already done so to support me. And don't forget to give my videos a thumbs up. And I'll see you guys in the next video. So until then, please take care. And of course, drive carefully. Bye-bye, darlings.